Hello, welcome to today's tutorial video. I'm Kata and here with me is Enikő.
Hi everyone.
Today our topic will be roof creation. You can find 2 more in-depth courses in the subject on our website and YouTube channel.
In these, you can learn many useful things about roofs with Claudia. The intermediate level course covers roof settings, creating styles, different roof building options, and you can even create a loft with a skylight and shading.
In the architecture course, you will dive deeper into roof and firewall design, as well as the placement of gutters and downpipes. If you still crave more information after watching these videos, feel free to explore our knowledge base, where we regularly update tutorials on all available features.
Also, stay with us in this video, where we've gathered the essential things to know about the roof command and how we can create any roof shape and structure.
This sounds really exciting. Let's get started.
We will find the roof command under the building tab. When we open it, many options appear. Let's start with roof shapes. There are predefined designs that we can place with just a few clicks.
So, the program saves us a few steps in settings.
Exactly. If we want to cover a simple rectangular building, we can generally do that with these options. Let's choose the style we want and place it with 3 clicks. Also, before placing it, let's choose a style from the left side here. Both the style and the shape can be modified and customized later.
We can use these shapes not only for rectangular bases, but also for polygons or circles. For these, we can use the gazebo or dome command. How do they differ?
When choosing the gazebo, we need to specify the number of peak points of the base. While for the dome, we select between a full dome or an open one.
Great! Let's look at one of the placed roofs and see what we can find in the Roof Properties dialog box.
Under the General Properties tab, we can adjust line properties, the layer and the object priority. I can simplify the 3D display by unchecking the structural elements. I will refresh the preview on the right side. Here the texture display is selected, but I can switch it anytime.
What materials can we adjust under this tab?
We can define the materials for both the roof's outer and inner sides. If these are the same, we can link them together with this button, and then we can define them in one step.
There are many values under the material settings. What do these mean and how should we interpret them?
If there is a specific value for the roof we need to match, we can check the explanatory diagram for the corresponding letter and then input that here so the program can recalculate the roof's other values.
That clears things up. Let's move on. On the left side, we can also see the structural elements the roof is made up of. What settings can we adjust on these?
Let me show you the eaves purlin, for example. At the top, there are settings related to its general display. Below that, we can choose its cross-section and color. There is also an illustrated value at the top left that we can adjust. This is the offset from the roof's baseline. We can set whether it starts from the roof's edge, aligns with the bottom of the rafter, and what type of end the purlin should have.
Are the settings similar for the others?
Yes, they are pretty much the same, as structurally these are similar.
Earlier you turned off the 3D display of these elements. What can we turn on and off here?
We can turn on and off whether the program should create these elements at all. If we don't need a particular element, we can uncheck it and it will disappear, so we won't be able to access its settings, since modifying it wouldn't make sense. Now only the display is turned off, so it's important to make adjustments to them.
Got it. I assume the tiling has different settings. Can you show us that?
Of course. Here we just need to select the tile material or color. And we can also toggle the creation of ridge and valley tiles on the roof.
What is in the next tab?
Here we can set where the roof cuts through the walls and which plan levels the created roof will be visible on. Under the Roof Geometry tab, we can adjust the roof's layers. We can move existing layers up or down with the arrow buttons, add or delete layers using the plus and delete buttons, and we can mirror layers here as well. If we scroll to the right, we can turn the 3D display of the layers on or off one by one.
What can we adjust in the pitch and shape menu?
We can change the roof plane types and the angle. Click on the roof plane we want to modify, select the roof plane type and update the preview. The roof angle can be modified for each plane or all at once if we check that box.
Can we only set the slope in degrees?
We can also set in percentage or ratio. The ratio is useful when we can only calculate the roof slope from other values, such as in measurements. In that case, A is the vertical value and B is the horizontal value. Make sure to leave a space before and after the slash, otherwise the program will interpret it as a division, not a ratio. The last thing that we can set here is the 2D representation of the roof.
Great! If this is a roof setting we might use again, it's worth saving it as our own style. How can we do that?
Click here in the bottom left and in the pop-up window select the new button. Give the style a descriptive name and it's done. We can save it so that it's available in all projects.
This is really useful. Now let's look at the slightly more complex example. We have this floor plan. How should we start creating the roof?
We have several options. The first is to create the roof in sketch mode. In this case, we define the boundary of the roof by specifying any number of corner points. We can finish the operation by clicking back on the first point or pressing enter.
Can we use a different method for this building?
Yes, we can create the roof by specifying the walls instead. I can select them one by one or all at once, since there are no internal partitions yet. If there were, we should ensure that they are not selected when we hit enter to create the roof.
Let's modify the roof planes a bit. Let's add a gable.
I will go into the settings and change the roof planes in the side menu. What do you think, Kata? Will this work?
Yes, much better.
We can also use reference lines to define a roof plane, which we can use to create a half gable roof. We define the external boundary points of the roof plane. Click back on the first point define the 2 points of the reference line, and then set the roof angle in the pop-up window.
Now the walls don't reach up to the roof.
I will select all the walls and set their height so they definitely reach the roof. And any excess will be cut off by the roof.
What does the roof plane with 3 reference point command do?
It starts the same way as the previous operation. I draw the roof contour and click back on the first point. The pop-up window asks whether the following values will apply to the lowest or highest points of the roof. I will choose the lowest points, so I will select yes. We need to define the height of the 3 points, which can differ from the external points I defined earlier.
So with this, we can create a roof that slopes into 2 directions.
Yes, let's do that. I will define the roof height on the inner side of the walls. I will enter 3 different values. And it's done.
The building needs a little more adjustment to properly cut the walls.
I will rebuild the 3D model and the program will automatically cut the walls.
That looks much better. Let's look at the modification where we customize the framing. You showed us the settings in the Properties dialog, but sometimes we also need to make other adjustments. What options do we have?
If we right-click on the roof, under the Roof Framing command, we can select Properties. Then we select the elements we want to modify. And after pressing Enter, the pop-up window contains the usual settings. Once we have made our modifications, for example change the cross-section, we accept them with OK. Here we can also move or delete the framing. Add new beams. Or move one or more selected beams at once. We can even delete beams individually. Essentially, we can completely reshape the framing here.
Let's move on to the next topic, which is the extruded and dormer roofs. My first question on this topic is, what's the difference between the two?
The icon already hints the difference. The extruded roof only creates a roof element without front and side walls or openings. But if we need these, we will use the dormer roof command.
Let's start with the extruded roof. How do we place it?
After selecting the command, we need to set a few things. First, I select the roof type. Let's go with the traditional triangular shape. I will give the angle the same value as the roof slope. I will also set the ridge angle to 0. After clicking OK, the pop-up window will let me choose if I want to cut out the part of the existing roof that will be under the extruded roof. Then I will select one of the roof plane contours where I want to place it.
For example, the ridge?
It's better not to use the ridge because it borders 2 roof planes. Let's choose one that clearly belongs to just one, like this one. And then I can specify exactly where I want to place it within that. And it's done.
Now let's see how much more complicated the dormer roof creation is.
It's a little more complicated, perhaps because there are more settings, but that also gives us more design options. Of course, we use them in different situations. The settings are similar to the extruded roof. Let's create a flat design. If I scroll down, here I can choose whether I want front and side walls.
If they aren't checked, it's essentially an extruded roof.
Exactly. But if we want the walls to be created, we can adjust their properties here. The pop-up windows should be familiar from general wall settings. I will leave the cut wall option checked, so we created walls won't extend into the building, only up to the roof plane. I can also modify the window settings, their number and placement. After that, placing the roof is the same as with the extruded roof.
Let's place a gutter on this building as well. Let's see how to place it on one side.
We will find the gutter under the roof command too. We select which plane we want to place it on, and the gutter will appear along the lower edge of the roof plane. Here we can select the cross-section profile and material. We can resize the profile and adjust its vertical and horizontal position relative to the roof.
Do we need a downspout for the gutter?
Yes, we can add it in the next tab. Here we can select the profile and material. We can resize the profile and adjust its vertical and horizontal position relative to the roof. I will place it within the green tick, then hit OK.
If the gutter is positioned too high, can we modify that in 3D?
Yes, you can modify the endpoint by clicking on the blue arrow.
That looks much better.
Let's move on to our last topic, which is curved edge roofs. Of course, this setting is sometimes needed for traditional roofs as well, but today I'm focusing on a more contemporary example that's becoming increasingly important in the 21st century architecture. Modern design often involves curves that defy the laws of physics.
Who wouldn't want Zaha Hadid-style curves on their building?
Exactly, and it's not that difficult to achieve in the program. For simplicity's sake, I will create a smaller pavilion, which is also a popular design choice among architects, but you can also use this method to create more complex forms. I will start with a simple roof. Right-click and choose Edit Roof Plane, then Separate Roof Plane. I will delete the other roof planes. I will modify the roof plane shape by moving one of the joints and then right-click again and choose Edit Roof Plane. And then Deform Edge. This will create a copy of the edge I clicked on, and I will make the changes on that.
What kind of modification can we make to it?
You can make the same modifications as if you were drawing 2D elements. I will convert it to a spine line and add the curve. Once it's done, I will confirm by pressing Enter. Then I will set the number of divisions in the pop-up window, and the edge is complete. I will finish the shape by mirroring it and creating our own modern pavilion.
This looks fantastic. We covered so many interesting features in today's video. We hope after this everyone feel confident when creating roof in ARCHLine.XP 2025. We wish you good work with ARCHLine.XP 2025. Bye!
Bye!